Hello everyone and welcome to IszyMedia. My name is Israel Ajayi. I'm so excited today because we are going to be learning something different from what we learned the last time on our Photoshop. So if you're new to Photoshop, like I said, if you're just starting up in Photoshop, this channel is basically for you, and it's a channel that will actually help you grow. Creativity is actually not taught though, but it will actually help you grow to an extent and you're free to just fly like a bird. So let's jump into Photoshop. Here we are in Photoshop, a very beautiful interface. Lovely. Each time I'm here, I just want to create something. Always. Alright, we spoke last week about our interface and how to arrange our interface in such a way that it will look very beautiful without stress, and we can actually navigate into some other places. I actually added this to it, the brush. And you can find it over here. You can see it's checked somewhere around here, and it's something we'll actually touch later. So let's jump into our file, create new. We know what create new does, isn't it? Yes. To create new windows if you want to create. But today we won't be creating new. We'll be going to our existing file and working with them straight from them. So how would you be able to do that? If you come to open, Ctrl O. If you click on Ctrl O or come to the file and come to open, you would see a window will pop out, and you can actually navigate through where your stuffs are, where you want to pick your picture, your graphics and the likes. Just compete. So today I'll be working with this beautiful, lovely picture I took sometimes last year pictures, but this is the picture I'll be working with today. So now we're working with pictures compared to the last time we're working with just a blank background. So from here we can actually learn a whole lot. So we have our browsing bridges. If you click on browsing bridges, you can a little window will actually pop out, and you'll be able to navigate through that interface with your system instead of going through like the way we did for Ctrl O. So you can actually navigate through your system with this, and it's just going to take you there straight up. If you love it, say yeah. Thank you. Now last week we also spoke about browsing bridges. I don't know if you are using Photoshop and it's not the full package where you have your Dreamweaver, After Effects, Premiere Pro and the likes in it, you would have this option. But if you don't, if you're working with Photoshop alone, it does not spoil you. You can just get going and get creative. Now open as, this will be touching later, open as a smart object. If I click and open as a smart object, the only difference between this and what we opened before is if I click on this right now and I come here and I import the same thing, you can see over here there's a very small window here, a small button here that shows that it's a smart object. Most times you can't work on smart objects. So let's go back to what we opened before. You can see it's written here smart object, and you can see it's written, there's nothing like a smart object here, but over here it's smart object. And you can actually change this from smart object to just your normal JPEG file. You can just come here, right click and rasterize your layer. As soon as you rasterize your layer, the window disappears. It's no longer a smart object anymore. The name is still here though, but it does not really mean it's no longer a smart object. And if you notice over here, when we opened it, it has a lock button, but when we open it as a smart object, automatically it did not come with a lock button. So that's just the difference, and just know how to work with that when you see that next time. So going further, we have our open reset project, close all, close and go to bridges, save as, save for web and the like. So all these things are just things that you would naturally know. It's not something I really need to tell you, okay, spoon feed you and say, okay, this is this, this is this, this is that. It's something you just naturally, it will naturally come to you and you get to know how to use. For example, Ctrl S. If I hit Ctrl S now, which is to save, it's telling me should I save in, this is a JPEG format, so I can save straight up in JPEG format, but I can't. So if I come to my smart object and I click Ctrl S, you can just give me an option of should I save it as a Photoshop format, should I save it as this, that. But this will be covering a little bit later. So let's move further to our order of the day. We're working with our tools. Now we'll be working with the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections of these tools, so we'll get to know how to use them. I hope we'll be able to touch all this today, and if you can't, in our next tutorial we'll be covering that. Let me close this for now. No, I'm not saving it. Okay, now this is our move tool, and it's like in its name, it's used to move things around, but unfortunately we can't move this layer because it's locked already. You can see the warning here, so you just click OK. And if you want to be able to move this layer just the way you like and just freely, come here and double click. When you double click on this place, it pops out a little window. You can now change the name to I don't know why I keep using your, but let's just keep it like that. Now if you move your picture around, you can move it freely just the way you like, and you don't have any issue of okay, it's locked or it's not locked. That is the first thing, and I believe you've learned that today if you don't know that before. Now we're moving to the next before we move to the next, we have this our option bar, and in our option bar we can see our move to is selected here, and auto select is also selected. So most of the time, if you have a whole lot of layers around here and you don't know how to work with it, and you're wondering why and how should I work with this thing, don't just panic. You can come here and click, and automatically it picks what you click on and you work with it directly. So moving to the next one, we have group, we have layers. It naturally comes with group, so just leave it the way it is and you're good to go. Now we have show transform. The show transform, just each time you click on your layer, on any layer, it gives you this box of which you can work with it. You can scale, you can make it big, you can make it just the way you like, and it looks pretty cool. But most of the time I just uncheck this most of the time just for me to work with my auto select, and I'm cool with that. The next thing we're going to be touching is the Marquee. The Marquee is actually very beautiful and awesome because you can actually make selections and just do a whole lot of wonders with it. But before I touch anything, you see in our option bar that we have a whole lot of options here. We can choose to add a selection, subtract a selection, or intersect a selection, and we have an option to feather. On our style, we have those. This will be touching a little bit later though, but let's stick with this particular panels and we're good to go. Now if I click on my Marquee and I drag, you can see I've selected something in this picture. Now if I hit the delete button, you can see that particular layer is gone already. Now I would undo and I would add a layer beneath this so that you can actually see something different. Now I click and drag. I come here, I click on my layer, I click and drag. Now my Marquee 2. Now if I click and drag like I did earlier and I delete, you can see we have a white background beneath this place. That is, this particular section has been deleted away from here, and you can't actually make use of it anymore. I'm just joking, you can. So you can undo, Ctrl Z to undo, and to deselect. Now let me just give you this straight up so that you won't be wondering how am I just removing this selection out of this place. If you press Ctrl D very close to S, you can deselect. If I click and hold down your Marquee, you can see we have different options. We have the ellipse, we have so many options, so we can actually work with the one we want to work with at that particular point in time, and we have no issue. Now over here we can see our add selection, subtract selection, and the likes. Now if I click on my add selection, now it's different from just selecting, but now we've add selection. If I click on this, you can see there's a plus beneath the plus. Now if I click and drag, you can see we've made a very little selection underneath. Now I click again and drag, you can see we made another selection underneath. That is what that does. So if I click on the subtract and I decide to move a little bit of this, I can see it's been subtracted because there's a little minus arrow. There's a little because there's a little subtract arrow beneath it. Now if I click on the intersection, now what this does is just intersects between shapes together. Now wait for it, and boom, we intersect all these places together, selecting just the ones that intersect with our new selection. We will be touching how to use the feather tool a little bit later, but for now just know that you can work with your add, subtract, and intersect to create any beautiful shape you want to create from this. Now let's move to our lasso tool. What our lasso tool does is just create a shape around something and give it a line, just like the line you're seeing around here. the selection line. So if I decide to zoom in a little bit, now for you to zoom in, you hit your Z, your Z, I don't know, anyhow. Hit your Z and come to your polygonal lasso tool. Then you can create shape. Let me just create a rough shape around this place. Around this place. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now this is a little bit rough though, but when you are trying to do yours, just try to be as perfect as possible. Just try to be as perfect. The best is just, you know, zoom in. The more you zoom in, the more perfect your selection will be. So you can just, now this particular thing you're seeing right now, for photography, graphics, you want to remove a shape out of something, you don't know how to do it, this is the way they do it. What you just need to just feather the edges properly. Like I said, we'll be touching the feather a little bit later, so I think this is an opportunity for us to just touch the feather and, you know, work as soon as we can. So let me just cut it over here, because there's really no time to do all this I'm doing. There's really no time, but you know, we just have to do it now. What do you expect? We are learning something, so learning takes process, takes time, takes, you know, you just need to learn something. And if you're learning something, you need to spend time with it, understanding how that thing works. And I don't want to do woo to the answer. Sorry if you don't understand, you know, woo to the answer. It means I don't want to just rush the whole thing and give you something that does not make sense. So we are almost done. Sorry this is taking a little bit of time, but I think later in this video I'll be showing you a quick and fast way to actually do this without any delay. But I was working in a studio sometimes back, and my job is just to remove backgrounds from pictures, man. So it's a whole lot of work, but it helped at the end of the day. So hit your Z key and hot, and you can see the magnifying glass changing to minus and subtracting, zoom out. Now hit your spacebar and move your picture back in shape. Now you can see we've selected this particular area. Now that is what this does. You can't use your marquee tool to do that. You can use your lasso tool to choose anything, and if you click and hold down, you can see it brings 3 options. Now these 3 options, the lasso tool, you will be able to draw the way you like, and it will just update itself just like this. Draw a cycle. And you'll be wondering, oh my goodness, that thing is gone, we spent hours on that. Don't worry, Ctrl+Z will take you back as soon as possible. And we have a magnetic lasso tool, and what this does is just click on the edges here. Like I said again, zoom in, always zoom in for you to take those things so that it will look as accurate as possible. Now you can see what the magnetic does. It drops a point at every point where it feels like, okay, there's a difference between this image. Sorry. Now this image looks like this. Now the way I did that point when I made that little mistake was just hitting your backspace button, and that is that for that. Now hit it again, hit it. You drag back and hit, and now you continue. You can also continue. Again, hit your backspace button a million times for it to work again. Hit your backspace again if you make mistakes. One basic reason why I don't like using this is because of this exactly too, but sometimes it just speaks your workflow and help you achieve greatness in a twinkling of an eye. But best, like I said, I'm not going to be covering all this right now, but I'm just going to zoom out. Double click on this, zoom out a little bit. Then I would undo to go back to what I've selected before. So it's all up to you. Just take your time, take pictures, just to remove try selecting things like this. And let me show you what you can also do just to remove this background. You can remove the background from this, or you can remove this from the background. Now what you just need to do is just come to your select, come to your inverse, Now the shortcut for this is Ctrl Shift I. If you invert selection, now it's going to select every other place aside from this particular selection you selected before. It's simple, just select and invert. That is that. And if you hit your delete key now, see what's going to happen. You can see it all disappears. Now this is a very beautiful technique to just remove things away from the background without issues. Now I undo to bring it back, and I Shift Ctrl I to pick my selection back because I'm not done with it and there's a whole lot we still need to learn from this. So I zoom in a little bit, and that is that for that. So we move down to the next tool, which is magic wand tool. Now this magic wand tool, the shortcut is W. If you hit on W, straight up it happens, and if you click and hold down, you can see it brings the quick selection tool alongside with it, which is very beautiful also. So what this magic wand tool does is just, now if I zoom out a little bit, I have a space. Now Ctrl D to deselect this. Now I have a space of should I call it an off-white? Yeah, I'll call it off-white. Now I just want to just pick that selection alone and probably change the cloud or do some funny thing with this. What I can just do is just use my magic wand tool and just select a large, this is a large area of just a plain color. So if I select, you see it almost covered everything just in one selection. You see how easy it is now. I told you I'm going to show you where you can actually do it without stress, and this is one beautiful way I use a lot. I press down my shift and it gives me a plus sign. If I press down my alt, it gives me a minus sign. So shift for plus, alt for minus. So if I hold down my shift and I click, it picks even all these tiny edges. Now we have a little bit of problem. Now the problem is we still have these places not selected, all these little places not selected. What you simply need to do is just zoom into those areas that you feel from a distance they look too small. Hold, press down your shift, then voila. And we are back. Now this is the last one, yeah, and we are back. We've all done the whole selection thing. Very beautiful though. Without stress, we've all selected those areas, and the basic reason why it was so easy is because they all have even colors. The colors just blend alongside with each other. Now after selecting this, you can simply just click and delete. When I click on my delete key, you can see the sky is now pure white. On the norms, you can have a naturally white pure color, so that does not really matter. You can now change the background to whatever thing you want to do by adding a new layer over here of whatever thing you want to place. Now the way Photoshop works is just it works in hierarchy. Now for example, we have our yo on top of this white background. So if I move my white background on top of my yo, it becomes something different. And now this is where creativity actually now comes to play. And now I'll move my white layer back down, and that is that for that. Now if you've made selection and you don't want to use it at the moment, what you can simply do is just come to your select and you can save your selection, so that when you deselect it, which is Ctrl D, you can easily come back to it later and it will be there. So let me just save this with another yo, and that is that for that. Now if I mistakenly probably deselect it, I can use Ctrl Z to undo it, but best bet, I've saved my selection already. I can just come in, load my selection, look for where's my selection, yo, yes, and I boom, now we have our selection. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Now that is that for that. Now our time is not on our side, so I Ctrl D, deselect that, and I come to my crop tool. Now as soon as I click on my crop tool, you can see there's a box around. There's a box that comes around it straight up, telling me, okay, where am I wanting to crop? Where do I want to crop and the likes go? If I move, probably the space here is too much. I just want to adjust something. The space beneath here too is too much, and I want to even move this depth away from here. Now this is a very tight shot, which is very beautiful. Now if I click on my enter, or I come here and check it, you can see automatically I move back, I press my V, my move tool. Now if I zoom in, you can see automatically the whole thing has been cropped one way or the other, and it looks pretty cool. It has been cropped and looks tight, looks much more okay than what we have earlier. So it all depends on what you want to do. So moving on, this is your eyedropper 2. Now I'll be touching your eyedropper 2 a little bit later because time is not on our side anymore. And my plan is just making this tutorial just 13 minutes, maximum of 15 minutes, so that you guys can learn something and it won't be so compounded on you. But I believe you've covered all these places and you already know how to use this tool. So I'll really appreciate it if you go more in depth, just play around with pictures, pick any random picture and just remove the background, delete the background, make it any color you like. Just do something creative. I would really appreciate if I can see feedbacks from you guys about what you guys have done already. Now remember, this is just a training whereby it does not really boil down to, we're not teaching creativity right now. We're just taking you just the rudiments, the basis, and upon which you can actually grow and to become very creative of whatever thing you want to become. So nothing more, nothing fancy, just something simple, because without the basis you can actually do something creative. Now remember, we are just taking you the basis. We're not teaching creativity right now. We're just taking the basis. So because without the basis you can't really do much in Photoshop. Now you already know how to use this tool, which is very awesome. So I would like to see your replies and the like. So my link will be in the description below where you can reach me and how you can reach me. Simple as A, B, C. So until next time, my name is Israel Ajayi. Stay creative.